So I'm happy for you to click through the slides and I can speak to them if you like. All right. So, yeah, Sarah, are you happy to read these passages as they come up and I can speak to them?
Yeah, sure. All right. So Moses said to the Lord, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past, nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go, tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the Israelites go out of his country." But Moses said to the Lord, "If the Israelites will not listen to me, why would Pharaoh listen to me, since I speak with faltering lips?" Now, when the Lord spoke to Moses in Egypt, he said to him, "I am the Lord. Tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, everything I tell you." But Moses said to the Lord, "Since I speak with faltering lips, why would Pharaoh listen to me?"
So here we can see Moses is worried about his voice or his stutter or his stammer or whatever the case was. He didn't see himself as a confident speaker. And so, what is his response to the Lord's request of him? Um, he doesn't have confidence to be able to follow what the Lord is asking of him to be the Lord's spokesperson and voice to the Israelites to lead them in the way that the Lord is asking him. And some other things there that, yeah, you might, what else does Moses question? What are some of Moses's concerns that we've just seen there?
He's not eloquent. Big word for
Yeah,
someone who can't speak.
that's right. He considers himself not eloquent. Um, he's questioning that Pharaoh, a king like Pharaoh, a powerful ruler, would listen to someone like him who feels like he can't even speak. That might remind you of the King's Speech. Yeah, where the King of England, Elizabeth's father, whose name just escapes me right now, he had a stutter quite badly and he, yeah, really struggled and had speech therapy um, to help him because he had a lot of important speeches to give and he felt inadequate. So that's a little snapshot of Moses. Yeah, quite concerned that he's not going to be up to the task. And then we look again at chapter 4, what Moses asks of the Lord. Yeah, Sarah, can you read Exodus 4:13 to 17, please?
Sure. Is that one we've just done previously?
Oh, yes, we did
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And so Moses says, please send someone else. Don't send me. I'm not going to be good enough. Um, yeah, so that begs the question, before we continue, what it does this resonate with us? What might this look like for us in our lives? Um, have any of us felt, yeah, um, like inadequate or we don't have the confidence or the we're not articulate enough or the yeah to be or the courage to be able to be obedient to what God says. There's some physical symptoms of voice problems that are it's quite interesting actually. You can have it. People might say they've got a tired voice, or often you can lose your voice. You can actually you stop phonating and it's just air, or you're just like running out of voice and you can't speak without any phonation. So when you've been talking a lot and you're not looking after your voice, you can what you call lose your voice. People in talking professions like we got here on this group, teachers and others. You can feel dry and tickling and scratchy throat. If you're unwell, you will feel it in your throat and your voice. It can be sore, in pain. You can feel tight and pressure around your neck area. Um, yeah, you can feel like talking is an effort. A sensation of a lump in the throat, a really like nervous feeling where you can't actually speak. It's interesting actually when you're and I know this if I'm singing in church or if I'm doing something up the front or even speaking like this, like a sort of public speaking, a lot of people don't like it because it makes them feel anxious or yeah, the emotion of it actually comes out in your voice, and it's really hard to speak or to sing if you're feeling really tense or nervous because it will actually show in your voice. And off some people are worried when they, oh, King George. Yeah, thanks, Jenny. That's yes, that's right. Yes. Thanks for all your comments there. So hopefully some of us can resonate with that. And I know if I'm singing something like at one of the um a hymn or a song in church that's quite meaningful to me, yeah, I will sometimes cry, and it's really hard to sing when you're crying. But yeah, so there's some physical evidences of yeah, a voice that's not yeah, and the emotion, our emotions and our voices are very closely connected. Um, But yeah, we know from God's word that God is actually the one who gives us our voices, and it's really helpful to remember. We have been reminded of this previously, but in Exodus 4 again, God says to Moses, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." Really helpful when we're feeling inadequate or we've been called to speak up and say something. When yeah, to be the voice that is needed. So we've had a little example of and practice of some of the things we can do to help our voice, and you can have an idea of more of those for yourselves. Um, Yeah, so we'll do them in a little while. Oh, maybe we'll do some more now, actually. Um, does anyone have any questions so far or comments about any of that or some of their experiences?
I
No,
can think of,
just the
oh,
lump.
Yeah, and does that happen at a certain time or what does that associated with a certain emotion, Sarah?
I always used to get it when I was anxious, like felt like it was hard to swallow.
Mm.
I think Alana was going to say something.
yeah, I was gonna say when I was a kid, my anxiety would cause me to say like I can't cough or I can't I'd get really dry in the throat and then all of a sudden I'm like I couldn't I felt like I needed to have a drink of water to be able to speak my needs and speak that kind of thing. And I've noticed that when I talk really quickly and my brain is going too quick for my words, I stumble over my words a lot. So that was another thing I noticed. It was actually nearly going to do it then.
Yeah, it's very
But
common, isn't it?
mm, mm,
Actually, I used to stutter. My brother and I both did. We've got three older, oh, I've got four older siblings, but he's the one closely in age to me. And we didn't really get much of a say when we went to speak. The others would speak in our place. So what was needed was for the speech pathologist to say to mum and dad that when we go to say something, the others have to stop talking, which is kind of funny to think about if that actually ever happened. But that's all that was needed because we just used to stumble over our words.
My
mm.
brother had a stutter, and mum didn't want him to feel different, so we all had to go to speech therapy.
Oh, oh, good on her. Yeah. Talking time, that's sometimes what I used to call it. If
Mm.
people didn't like, yeah, the term speech therapy. But yeah, that's great. I love that. So there's another little exercise you can do. Oh, well, let's go back actually. I skipped the mechanism, and we're not going to spend too long, but I think it's helpful to understand how God has given us our voices and what that looks like. So the breath, breathing, we're actually breathing the air that comes out of our lungs, produces the power for our voices. So you'll know, like opera singers, they're often quite fit in their like they're strong in their abdomen. They've got a powerful, like, particularly, man. I've got a friend who's quite he's got big broad shoulders. He's quite stocky. He's got a really booming voice, and yeah. So the lungs produce the power supply for the voice. And the airflow from the lungs makes the vocal cords in the voice box or the larynx vibrate to make the basic sound of the voice, and that's called phonation. And because the sound that is made by the vocal folds is too weak to be heard, the basic sound is modified into sound we recognize as the voice as it travels up from the larynx through the throat and the mouth and the nose, which is known as resonance. So if you've got a cold or not feeling well, you'll start to sound a bit nasally like this, and you're all blocked up. So yeah, balancing and coordinating those three fundamental components is really helpful. Breath, breathing, phonation, and resonance. They're the building blocks of the voice. And yeah, those things are also affected by body posture and whether or not our body and particularly our larynx, our throat is relaxed. But our whole body, it's fascinating how God's actually made us. If we're tense or anxious, it'll show in our voices. So again, you'll get to see there's a little diagram of what those parts, where they are in our bodies. And any excess tension in the muscles of the larynx can lead to a strained, harsh voice, which might sound like this. Or if you get angry and you start yelling, that's going to hurt your voice because you're actually like slamming your vocal folds together. Coughing too, if you're coughing, you're going to hit the vocal folds together, and can create things called, you might have heard of polyps or inflamed vocal folds. So they get really thick, and red and raw. And some people, actors, actresses like Julie Andrews have had surgery where it's not actually the best first port. It should be the last resort, but yeah, you can actually do a lot with vocal. So the exercises you've got tonight, if you ever get voice troubles, you do them first. Don't ever resort to surgery. It's the very last thing you should consider because it can just ruin your voice for the rest of your life. Yeah, so that's the kind of the foundations of voice production, and the building blocks for good, clear voice. So let's have a go at some posture. Now I'm going to kneel just so I have my laptop in front of me, but I'm actually like straight up and down. So if you can get in a position like that, or if you can stand, that's really fun too. I'm making you work tonight, aren't I? Because posture is actually, imbalance in body posture can adversely affect how our throats and our voice, vocal folds produce voice. Why might that be? Or any comment on posture, why posture is so important?
I'm guessing like the way you are standing or sitting affects how you breathe, and so that affects voice.
That's right. Yep, absolutely. So you want to keep your head aligned with your spine, so your ears are over your shoulders. You want to be symmetrical. You want to balance your weight evenly, keeping your arms relaxed, shoulders level and loose and relaxed, and your knees loose and relaxed, and legs, feet forward, rib cage. So you put your hands on your ribs, they should be relaxed, and your shoulders relaxed. So things not to do is to kind of thrust your chin forward and up, or throw your head back, clenching your teeth. really interesting again if you're aware of your mouth and what's happening with your tongue and your jaw. And clenching your teeth is often a really common thing for people sleeping in the night. You can be someone who clenches your teeth. One of us might struggle with that. It's quite common. And then, as Alana, you mentioned, putting the tongue, pushing it against the roof of your mouth, clenching anywhere, rounding the shoulders, having your all tense in our shoulders, slumping, being rigid, locking your knees, hunching your shoulders, or like I'm a shocker for leaning to one side. I'm always leaning. So to the point where someone said to me once, "Oh, do you have like a baby? Is that why you're always like leaning as if you're like used to carrying a child?" I'm like, "Well, I carry my dog," but yeah, no, that wasn't an excuse. And so let's do some breathing, some breath and work and some controlled exhaling. So it feels really good actually. It's really fun to do this. Stretch both arms up above your head and clasp your hands together. Oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing here. With your palms facing the ceiling, and then just move from side to side, and you can do some yawning, and you can start to feel really nice and relaxed. Oh, beautiful. I can see you all doing that. Well done. Coco's probably listening, going, "What on earth is mummy doing?" It's really good for you, actually, this. Yeah, so take oh yes, a few consecutive breaths in, hold, and as you breathe out, you can say shh and bring your arms down. Shh. Do that a number of times. So you're filling up the balloon and then you're releasing it on a really controlled fricative sound or a shh or a s. Just letting your shoulders fall to the side and gentle, and try it one more time. Ooh, yeah, you start to feel a bit more relaxed. I do. Oh, that's very nice. I should do this more often. Standing in front of a mirror is really ideal. What we can all see each other. That's helpful. Put your hands on your abdomen. Keep your shoulders loose and low, and then you breathe in for a count of two, and then you similarly hold a sound for as long as possible. So you breathe in, and then and you try and control it for as long as you can. Breathe in for two. One, two. It's hard to talk and breathe at the same time. And do it again. Try control it, control. Feel your abdomen filling up as you breathe out. Keep it sound and steady. Don't let it die away. One more time. One, two, and then release. That's a really good one to do. Keep your hands on your abdomen. And we've done that. Oh, well, let's try something a little bit different. Hands on your abdomen. And now we're going to put a bit more emphasis so you can feel how it affects the air flow in the power center in your abdomen. So try some sounds with some emphasis. So you're putting emphasis on the sound in the middle of your exhaling. So with the sh sound, soft and then loud and then soft. You can feel, hopefully, you want to feel your abdomen move, not your shoulders and not your chest or up here. You want to feel it coming from down in your abdomen. Try that again. Not too forced either. You want to be gentle. And it'll get easier as you practice those things. Hopefully you're feeling your abdomen pumping as you change the loudness of the sound, and it's not too forced. Keep your neck and shoulders relaxed. You can tilt your head side to side. Roll your shoulders. Do some jaw. Yeah. yeah, 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 yeah. Just sort of let your jaw drop. Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't try and force it. Yeah, 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 yeah. You can give it a bit of a wiggle. Lift your shoulders to tense them and then drop them to relax. Circle them backwards slowly and then forwards slowly. And then you can just do some stretches to finish. Breathe in. So there's some ideas. Hopefully, how are people feeling?
Honestly, feel like I'm in
Oh.
a yoga class. I've had already 2 classes this week, so a third one's not going astray. So it's
Yeah,
going well.
I'm definitely feeling relaxed.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was so nice. And then midway through, when we were doing like this, Cleo's like started biting me. She thought I was trying to play with her. And I'm like, oh my God, please. I'm doing voice control right now.
Oh, yeah, that's great. One more thing we'll do with relaxing this exercise relaxes your voice, your vocal fold muscles. You haven't got the words in front of you, which is not ideal, but you will get them. There's some words that start with vowels. You want to think about gentle onsets of sounds, and you want to listen and feel the contrast between these two types of words. So think of words that start with a h sound, and then you just drop the h. So you've got words like, I'll give you them in advance if you can remember a couple: high, hail, heart, heat, hill, any H word, and then you just drop the H. So I'll take us through a few, and you want to just gently ease into the first sound of the word. So you're practicing easy onset. You're not gonna, you're not going to bang your voice together. You're going to bring the vocal folds gently together. So you've got a word like high, hi, and then or hail, 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 hail. You're just using no force sounds, all very gentle. Heel, 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 heel. Everything's very gentle. So there's some vocal fold, relaxation ideas. Ha, ta, ta. It's harder with a t sound because that's quite a strong sound. Here, 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 here. Anyway, there's some, hopefully you can feel that that's relaxing your voice. They're called gentle onsets. And so you'll do those if you've got like either yourself or someone who does stutter. That's a really common exercise for stutterers to be given. And you're breathing into the words and you're not forcing the sound. So they'll be taught to speak a bit like this and try and breathe into their speech. It sounds a little bit weird, but actually it's really good for your voice because otherwise it can sound like this, and that's when your voice actually hits together. So you want to make sure you're nice and gentle in your speech, and that's something that stutterers will really practice a lot. And if you hear someone speaking that way, that might be, and not, it might mean that they may be practicing their exercises that they've been given. I know someone who's in ministry who really struggles to take one of his the things that he finds most difficult is taking a funeral, and so he knows that he's got to give himself a lot of space to do that because and that's when the stutter comes out. Like, so you'll be aware of different things that are triggers. But I also, I know how severe his stutter is, but he has worked so hard. And so when he preaches and when he takes even a difference between a wedding and a funeral, he'll actually find a wedding a lot easier. And gosh, you wouldn't even know he has a stutter because he's been doing so many gentle onsets and trying really hard. But we just take it for granted if we've never had troubles with speaking, how difficult it can be. Oh, there's a little, yeah, thanks, Sarah. That's the picture of some of these really important parts of, it's incredible actually how God's put our bodies together, particularly in light of the voice that he's given us and how it all works. And, if any part of this body isn't working, it affects our speech and our voice and our health. So, yeah, you'll get to have your own copy of that. And there's a list of things to remember. Yeah, I'm a shockerfer actually, like leaning over. Trying to keep posture straight is really helpful for lots of things, actually, for being proud of who you are in Christ and speaking with courage and confidence. And yeah, it's not easy for some of us, but it's really helpful. Posture does actually affect a lot of how we see ourselves and others and the way we present ourselves. So there's a list of do's and don'ts. There's some other little ideas, yeah, that you'll get of some little phrases that just help you practice these things. Yeah, some other things are like silent giggles. So I like it looks a bit silly, but like a silent giggle actually like helps you be aware of the muscles in your throat, and it can help you relax your larynx and your vocal folds just like giggling silently. It's meant to not be too tense, but just gentle. Yeah, breathing in and out gently as you giggle silently. And there's some little tongue twisters that are fun to say, things like rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby, or rubber chicken if you're a musician or a vocalist. Rubber chicken is a is a exercise that you can do before you sing or speak. Other phrases like can you imagine an imaginary menagerie manager, imagining managing an imaginary menagerie, things like that. Or yellow leather, yellow leather, yellow leather, yellow leather. Unique New York, unique New York, unique New York, things like that. You'll see singers and public speakers do those when they're warming up. Working through different consonants, things like boo, bo, bor, ba, baby, and then emphasizing different words. So boo, bo, bor, ba, baby, boo, bo, bor, ba, baby, boo, bo, bor, ba, baby, things like that. I can hear you all, no, I can't really, but I'm imagining you're all doing this at home. So yeah. Hopefully those things will help you as you, think about the voice, which we don't often think about, but it's good to remember all the ways we can look after our voices. And as we've been looking in Exodus, the voice that God gives Moses, and the important how important it is to remember that God's given us the voice that we have, and he wants us to be stewarding it well in obedience to him.